standing. Hooray!
Here we are with episode 12, the Kombat Tune podcast. I'm joined by Slips, Bit, and Under the Mayo. Well, I'm gonna call this guy the Professor of MK9.
I can deal with that.
Yeah. You are like a teacher, right?
I am a teacher. Yes, I'm an English teacher.
How are you an English teacher? Shouldn't you be, like, in quantum physics?
Quantum physics? Yes. No, the job just kind of fell in my hands, and I don't know. It's a good job. I enjoy it.
How are you so good at math?
I'm not that good at math. It was just dedicating the time to finding the things out that I found. The math is really simple. The math is simple division, or it's just the discipline and devoting the time to it, really.
You don't understand how impressive that is for those of us in the Mortal Kombat community. I mean, we're all dumb.
We're not intelligent. We're not teachers.
So simple division does impress us.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to see how far I can dumb down things in the future and see if it still impresses anyone.
Do you think like Mortal Kombat fans are dumber than Street Fighter fans?
Yes.
I would say we're one of the dumbest communities.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Have you seen the forums?
I mean, this Mortal Kombat appeals to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Like, you guys ever seen that image that goes around of what every community looks like? You know, like the Street Fighter players are hipsters, and, you know, the King of Fighters fans are Mexicans, and, like, Virtual Fighter, it's an empty chair. Have you ever guys seen that?
No.
Well, we're going to have to link to it. It gets around. People know what I'm talking about.
We have hardly any Asian players.
I haven't seen any other than...
They have one.
Other than Justin Wong, I haven't seen anyone, and he's not really an MK player anyway.
Yeah, like we got like one. Yeah, we got like one Asian player, and we need Asian players like to do like the broken stuff.
Mhm.
Like if the Japanese were playing this game, they would have had option selects to counter Raiden's teleport already set up by now.
Possible.
They would be. Man, it's ridiculous. They would be blowing up down one cutter every time. They'd be duck and throw, punishing them with full combos, and they'd be doing it all.
I agree.
So you guys think like the community is behind the level it should be at?
Absolutely.
I also think Street Fighter players are dumb because they don't know what makes a game good.
Yeah, but a lot of the top Street Fighter players think no.
They actually think that Street Fighter 4 is good. Like,
So that not the top level guys, they know.
that's true. The top players.
Daigo's talked about it.
Yeah, the top players know it's trash, but there's so many Street Fighter players who think it's good. It's so bad.
Right.
I took that game back an hour after I bought it, I was really excited about Street Fighter 4. I bought it the day it came out after work. I took it home, and I hadn't really played a fighter since, I guess, MK Deception, but I hadn't played a Street Fighter game since Street Fighter 2 when I was a kid. And I popped it in, and I had been playing a lot of Marvel 2 before that. Not seriously though. And I put in Street Fighter 4, and I saw one of the moves was down forward and then down forward again, and a punch, and that was just so alien to me. And I don't know, something about the controls of modern Street Fighter games, I just don't care for it, and I took it back after an hour. I just wasn't enjoying it.
The thing about the community, it's because we're so spread out. No one has matchup experience at the highest level of play, except for whoever the little local competition is playing.
True.
So we're all way behind.
Yeah, our best matchup experience is online.
And that's not good.
That's
not a good online experience either.
Yeah, and it's not even possible for everybody.
It's like it's impossible to punish down one cutter online. So of course we're just doing it. Shit like that. I mean, just those small punishing Jax's dash punch properly.
Right.
I mean, no one's really doing that either because it's too hard to do online. So people don't even bother to do it offline.
No one understands Johnny Cage's pressure. No one understands any of that stuff because of online. And because if you don't have a Johnny Cage player that you play all the time, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing against Dizzy. I heard about it, and like when I was playing, I was like, man, I don't remember. Let's see if I can jump.
That's why we're never going to have a good matchup list. We're never going to have a good tier list. The level of play is never going to be at its peak. It'll probably be a year from now, and the level of play will still be kind of lacking.
Like, what do they need to do to elevate the level of play?
We're doing the best. We're doing the best we can. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I don't think it's our fault. It's just
right.
The community's not. It's just not as big as Street Fighter, and Street Fighter attracted all the best players from every fighting game. So all the best players were playing that game, and all the best players were dissecting that game. And there's so many good players, combined, they're closer together that they're able to blow the game up. We don't hardly have anyone from any game playing Mortal Kombat.
Well, it's Mortal Kombat's own fault, isn't it? I mean, it was originally marketed for the appeal of the violence and not the appeal of the actual art of fighting. Mortal Kombat didn't become like a really good game to play competitively for about 20 years. So
yeah, you're right.
It's
the past
the
games, yeah.
You know. So I mean, there's we can go back in time and change history. That's the only way that we're ever gonna have a comparable community. You know.
We keep the game looking good, and we all keep going to tournaments, and Evo. The fact that we're Evo is awesome.
No, I agree. I think everything that's been done is great.
The more we do it, the more the other players will be like, fuck, maybe that game is good. I mean, look at Jop. Jop is at least thinking about coming back because he thought the game was going to be dead. I mean, look at Eris thought the game was going to be dead. Most of them just thought the game was going to die because they thought it was bad. But of course, the game's fine. It's actually good. And another thing is there's not a whole lot of money in it at this point.
Right. That's a big problem.
Yeah, it is.
Right now, it's all.
I wonder how much of the tier list is accurate. Could Rio be right about Cabal? After last week, I kind of blew up on Cabal, and I thought about it more, and I researched more, and I read, and I really studied up on it, and I can admit that I might be wrong. Maybe Cabal's not as good as I was ranting about last week.
I don't think he's number one.
I disagree.
I think
he's either number one or two. There's no real serious argument otherwise, but I'm saying maybe he's not as good as I thought. He's definitely one or two.
Yeah, he's not as mindless and broken as you thought.
It's mainly no the fireball. The fireball is just bad game design. I mean, it's really not excusable. Maybe it's not as good as people think, but it's still dumb.
But what about Liu
But
Kang, Melina, Kitana?
Stuff's dumb too.
Balls is worse.
But Cabal's is worse. Yeah.
I don't know, Liu Kang. You
No,
can,
dude. We have the data. We know how long. Yeah, I mean, I know you play Cabal. I know you want to downplay your character, but you just facts are facts. We know how fast it is. We know how long it takes to recover. We know how much damage it does. Except for maybe exceptions like Freddy, it is the best fireball in the game, and it is simply not comparable to Liu Kang, and you know that. So why try to say that it is?
You know, it's not even just about the speed of it. It's the whole conditions around it. I mean, Liu Kang, yeah, he can shoot an instant air fireball really quickly. I mean, maybe as fast as Cabal, I don't know, or close. But Liu Kang doesn't get a hit confirmable combo off of it from full screen.
Combo into a reset, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I don't care if Liu Kang does instant air fireballs all day. I mean, if I jump, maybe he'll get me with the dragon kick full screen. Cabal's going to hit me with a second fireball as I'm falling, and then hit me with the dash, take damage, and then put me into a reset. So I mean, there's really no comparison between the fireball of Cabal and anyone else. Personally, I'm not a fan of instant air fireballs from any character hitting opponents on the ground. I've never been a fan of that since the early games. I don't really understand it. I mean, it's fine. I'm not complaining about it. I think, you know, you can make the argument that some characters really need it as part of their game, but I don't see how you can have a projectile that shoots a certain speed and recovers at a certain speed on the ground, and just because you can do the input to shoot it in the air means you get to shoot it twice as fast and have half the recovery and still hit me on the ground.
Do you think they intended that, or is that just...
I think they did. I think they knew.
They know about it. They knew about it since Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the way Katana was designed. Her ground fan, they obviously intended her to be a keep-away zoning character.
Of course.
And they would not have made the ground fan as slow as it is if they did not think that she'd be able to instant air fan and hit a standing opponent like that. They knew.
Right.
They may have underestimated how good Cabal's would have been, but with like Katana and Melina, they knew.
Cabal's is like the ultimate combination of Liu Kang's and Katana's.
Yep.
It's almost as easy to hit a standing opponent as Katana. Well, not almost, but it's feasible to be able to hit a standing opponent, you know, decently. And he goes backwards, and he can combo off of it.
Yeah, it's...
How dumb is that?
Not just combo.
Compare combo into a reset.
Yeah, I mean, not just combo, but just so easily hit confirm. Like, oh, I hit him with a fireball. Okay, and dash. I mean, before you even hit the ground, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I think
I'm not complaining, but I mean, it's still. I guess I am complaining a little bit, but but still, I mean, it's not comparable to anyone else's instant air fireball at all.
Like, Liu Kang's is like, I think Liu Kang's is just as fast, but it's way harder to hit a standing opponent, and you can't combo off of it. And like Katana gets a huge combo, but it's not nearly as quick.
It's not huge. What do you mean? It's not a huge combo.
It's hella, dude. It's like 30%.
How is 30% now hella?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good for air
Yeah,
fire.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's not hella.
That's hella.
Dude, wait a minute. You and most other good players, you guys don't even bother to break that because it's only 30. So get out of here with this hella. You know what I'm talking about. You don't even bother to break her those most of the time.
What are you talking about? I break that all the time.
Dude, no you don't. Everybody just takes that nowadays.
That's 30 damage. That's nothing to just shake your dick at. That's a problem.
I'm not saying it's bad. You're like, oh my god, it does Half-Life.
It does.
It's
hella.
okay.
It's a fireball that does 30 goddamn %.
Yeah, that's good. It's not hella.
That's pretty goddamn good. What other fireball is 30%?
Then what do you consider your combos that do more than that and then reset?
Yeah, off a down
There's
one
a huge
and
fucking consequence for me doing mine. Yours has, like, next to no consequence at all.
I
Depending
agree,
on the
that's why it's
character.
good. It's not the damage.
It's both.
The damage is just... No, the damage is fine.
It's huge. It's good. It's really good reward for extremely little risk, dude.
I agree. It's one of the best projectiles in the game, but to say that it does hella damage is
For
not
how much
accurate.
risk you're taking and how much damage output you get for it, fuck that. That does hella, dude.
No, it's fine.
Get the fuck out of here.
it's fine.
I like how the
It's
first
fun.
15 minutes of the show is just instantly arguing.
Ridiculous.
That's right off the bat.
That's about normal.
It's
No
fine.
character does that much damage off of a fireball that most characters can do next to nothing about.
It's not. All I'm saying is it's not hella. You don't have to exaggerate.
That's hell.
Cabal's bread and butter isn't even 30%.
Her air fan combo does just as much as like Melina bread and butters.
That's Melina doing poor damage, not Katana doing hella.
It's still that means it's pretty good.
It's good. I never said it wasn't good, but you're like, oh god, it does 80%.
Hella, dude.
No.
Hella.
Define hella. What is hella?
Hella.
Yeah, what is the cutoff to hella?
Yeah.
If it did 15, would that just be good damage? Like, when does it become hella?
Hella is risk reward, dude. You shouldn't get that much damage off of a fucking fireball. I just tried to
How
jump
much did I
away
get?
just to get away from a down one pressure, and then I end up losing 30%. Fucking retarded.
Stop jumping like an idiot, man. Learn to play footsies.
Ooh.
Against every other character. I mean, that's why Katana is such a problem for people. Because that's something you can do against every other character. It's like, I had this option to get away, but you can't do it against Katana.
Right.
It's stupid.
And that's why everyone thinks Katana's top tier and she's actually not.
Everybody,
Wait.
every match has something about your normal game that you can't do, depending on what the other opponent's abilities are. And Katana makes you not able to jump, and Mortal Kombat players are just naturally jump happy. They love to jump,
Yep.
you know. And when you can't jump, people they just freak out.
Katana really exposes bad players.
Yeah.
If you can't play footsies and you can't get out without jumping, you're done. And that's probably most players' two biggest problems, is jumping too much and not being able to play footsies. And again, that's why everyone thinks Katana's top 5 when she's really not.
I thought you had her in her top.
Every
top
show, every guest has put her as 1 or 2.
I don't understand that.
So you're
I think
saying
Katana-
even our best guests and everything, they're not good?
Everyone is wrong. In a year, everyone will know.
I
If
think
the
Katana is
level of
amazing.
play, she's great. She's top 10.
Yeah.
She might even be 6th or 7th. But she's not as good as everyone thinks. And Slips, you know I'm right. Don't be coy about it.
Coy.
There
what?
are a handful of people who really know how to fight her, and they know what's up.
Is it her matchup? She has bad matchups. Why is she that? Not
What's her matchup?
Her matchup chart is that she blows up a few characters, she goes even with most, and then she has some people that are really hard to fight. And it's enough where she's not top 3.
Bad matchups brings
If we're
you
gonna-
down in the tier list. A lot.
We've all accepted that Reptile is not top 5 because he has a few bad matchups. That's the Reptile players won. They bitched and moaned and they cried and they whimpered and they got their way. We no longer consider Reptiles in every fucking top 8 that there's ever been. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 of them in the same top 8, but we've accepted that he has, a handful of bad matchups, so he's no longer top 5, right? Then eventually we're all going to realize the same applies to Katana. There's a couple main problems. 1, everyone sucks at fighting her. 2, this is arrogant, but I'm just going to say it. Us top Katana players are simply really fucking good. And 3 is no one plays the characters that give her a hard time. No one's playing Freddy. No one's playing Kenshi. So people just don't see it.
Who are her worst matchups?
Kenshi.
Yeah.
Probably Freddy. Liu Kang. Raiden.
Reptile.
Probably Reptile. I could see Reptile. I could see the argument being made that it's not as bad as I think. I don't know. Ermac might be. We don't know yet.
How did you feel about the double flawless against Kenshi in the last tournament? Then.
I mean, look. I have to put the guy on blast. I mean, he's a good sport, but he's not at my level of play. So what does that mean?
Yeah, right.
That's kind of the problem. Like, people don't know how to fight Cabal. So then, I go to a tournament and I blow everybody up, and it's like, how much of that is people not knowing the match and my skill, and how much of that is Katana being OP?
Yeah, so are you lowering her tier position based on people learning the matchup?
I'm lowering her tier position because I play someone that has spent months learning how to fight and knows how to fight her, and then I look at the matchups, and we realize that she is simply. I mean, you can't jump. You have to learn how to get around down one. And granted, there are a lot of characters that don't have an answer, but there's enough that do have an answer that it gives her enough bad matchups that she is not in that top 3 position.
What about Sektor?
Sektor is a real bad matchup. And, I was on the forums the other day, and a prominent Sektor player had that 4-6 in her favor. Absurd. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
she has to work her way in. He outzones her. Finally, when she works her way in, he was like, oh, well, down 1 beats all his options. So I spend a matchup working my way in, and I can stop him with down 1. So it's 4-6 her. What?
No, that's ridiculous.
That's absolutely dumb. Accept responsibility for your losses, man. Sektor has everything he needs to beat Katana. He is top. Alright, it's time to put Sektor players on blast. First off, the wake-up thing, shut up. Shut up. All of my wake-ups lose to down 4. And she's still in everybody's top tier list. I don't have armor either. And she's still in everyone's top tier list. So I don't want to hear about your lack of armor, and I don't want to hear about your wake-ups. Secondly, your 6-frame jab that launches, that you can poke out of that or punish that because it's high, it is a 6-frame jab that launches. Do you guys not understand the tool that you have?
Yeah, it is really good.
You can interrupt pressure that other characters can only poke out of with a full combo.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that doesn't have good range and can be ducked is what's saving your character from being broken. Oh my god, your 6-frame launching jab has a couple of weaknesses? Shut up!
The second hits mid, too.
4-2 is mid, has extremely long range, and is neutral on block. What more do you want for a footsies tool?
Yeah. And the recovery of just using 1-2, the recovery is lightning fast. I mean, you can go 1-2 instantly into your low starter, and it looks like it's part of the same string. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you can use that fear of the recovery in the low to continue with 1-2-2 directly into the overhead blast, and then you get a missile set up. I mean, it's crazy, really.
Back 3-4, they complain that you can duck and punish it. There are setups where you can space it to where very few... How many characters can punish that? 2 or 3 or something? Almost the whole cast cannot punish it if you space it correctly. And the fact that Sektor figured that out in July, and no one else is doing that, is an indictment of the Sektor community. They should be ashamed.
He even made an entire post about it. He went in depth about that move. He told the entire Sektor community about that move and why it's good. And no one did it. No one's doing it.
Wait, what about Ketchup? He uses it.
Well, I don't know. I haven't really seen Ketchup. So maybe we're talking about U.S. players.
U.S. I apologize, Ketchup. We're not putting you on blast. He's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, his zoning is good. His flamethrower is good. I mean, what tool he's got good pressure with the back 3 and the back 3-4. He's got good pressure with like the 2-1 stuff and the 1-2-1 stuff, and the forward 2 is stupid. The back 1 sets his spacing up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the flying fuck do they want?
It's ridiculous. And they fall into the trap where they look at weaknesses of moves and not look at strengths. Like, when you can cross up back 1, well,
I can cross up like almost everything.
You can't have everything. Like, yeah, okay, your move has a weakness. What do you want? Do you want to be the Flash from MKGC? Or remember that quote? His down 1 as anti-air is nothing to write home about. What do you want? The spin? His down 1 is fine as anti-air.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so where do you put Sektor? How good is he?
He's unquestionably top 10. There's no.
Is he top 5?
He might be. I don't know. I don't know enough. I'm not going to be bold enough to say that. But there's no doubt he's top 10.
Does he have any bad matchups?
I doubt he has any matchup that's truly horrible.
I don't know. I play a lot of Sektor. He's my secondary. I mean, I haven't played him in any local tournament settings. I play him casually here with my team. From what I can tell, I don't like fighting Cyrax with Sektor, or I mean anyone that I'm kind of forced to play up close with, because he has really good footsies, but after a short amount of time, it's really hard to kind of maintain the pressure or like maintain momentum. And I can't sit back. I can't just shoot missiles or try to do any like really good missile setups against Cyrax, because I'll eat a net. But so if I have to get in and like really play up close a lot with Sektor in order to make it work, not having any real forward momentum on like his 1-2 or 2-1, it's not that great. I wouldn't call it a terrible matchup, but anytime that he really has to play close for most of the fight, he starts to suffer a little bit, just some.
It's all about forward 2.
Yeah, forward 2 is great.
Forward 2 is the all-purpose, I need to get in move. That move
it's really good.
Godlike range. It recovers ridiculously fast. If it hits, he's got hella frames. If it's blocked, it's 0. I mean, that is the ultimate conditioning tool. When people start getting hit by that, then you start setting up his back 3s and shit. You start getting the spacing with his back 3s. And when people start respecting the back 3-4 and the back 3s, then you start lifting that leg up and putting them in the overhead low guessing game. And he also has a really good throw, so we can't forget about that.
Right. And let's talk, the 50-50 is so underrated. All years, well, how am I supposed to? It's too slow. It's too slow. What are they talking about? It's not hard to make people block.
And you can cancel into special.
It's silly. I mean, if someone gets hit by a forward 2, they have to block another forward 2.
Is Sektor better than Katana?
I don't know, but he may be. He's that good. At the end of the day, when the level of play is at its peak, we may find out he has less bad matchups than her.
Is he up
I think that is
Raiden and Cabal?
No.
Below that.
He's where Jax and Sonya and Katana and those characters are.
I think
there
we'll see
is
him
no
move up
argument against them.
I think we'll see him move up some when we start seeing Sektor players use more of those EX missile setups. I don't see it happening very often in tournament play. I mean, every once in a while, like it comes out as a surprise. I think it should be used more than that. It really should. I mean, it gives you just like completely free pressure. It gives you just free time to come in with any kind of mix-up you want because that missile's coming. It's coming right at you.
Yeah.
Most characters can't get away from the missile. Just people don't know how.
You can link it off of any normal down 4.
Yeah.
Well, if you link it off of a normal and stuff, yeah, that's cheap. But like,
yeah, that's where you don't want to shoot it from full screen.
I love it.
You can't full screen shoot a homing missile.
No, that's stupid. But, I mean, if you come in and you do 1-2-2, you hit them with the overhead. Whether the overhead hits or not, you go into EX missile, and then you're right there, right back in their face again.
Free jump in or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And I love 1-2-2 in the corner because people, if you condition them to expect 1-2 and then instantly into the low starter, you do 1-2-2 and that overhead hits in the corner, and it doesn't throw them away like it would mid-screen. They're standing there in stun, and then you can just come in and do 1-2-2 again if they block low. I mean, you can just loop that.
Yeah. He's good, dude.
And he's got one of the best anti-zoning tools in the game.
Yeah.
He literally has everything.
I agree. The Sektor players, they look at his few weaknesses and just can't see the forest from the trees. I mean, the idea that you can poke out of that 6-frame jab and that's a big deal. Like, it's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, what Sektor players, they want him to have an incredible forward momentum, unduckable rushdown game too.
I guess that's what he needs.
4-2, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You can't even neutral jump punch that thing. It recovers that fast.
Mayo, you recently made a video called The Math of Quan Chi.
Yes, I did.
And explores the rune trap and stuff, so let's get into Quan Chi a little bit.
I would love to.
You think the rune trap's broken?
No, I don't.
I think it is.
Next question.
Why do you think it's broken?
Alright, here's my thing.
Okay.
He has enough tools without it.
Bullshit.
Dude, he's good without it. If he didn't have the rune trap, he would still be good.
I don't think so.
No, not at all.
What doesn't he have?
Okay, let's start this. Okay, yeah, he's got a great uppercut. That's nice. His mix-ups are slow as hell, very easily guarded against. I mean, his only good mix-up is back 3 1+2, just because the low starts quick. The 1+2 being an overhead is a joke. It's easily guarded against once you know it. His up 3 overhead into trance is not hit confirmable. He gets full combo off of the block. Forward 1-2, the second hit is a low, and it's really slow. All you have to do is start blocking low like you're expecting back 3 1+2, and if you see the punches coming, you just stay blocking low. Let's see. His fireball is decent. The regular runes, I mean, they've buffed him a couple times, but they're still not that great. His teleport is, it's awful. I mean, it really is. It is incredibly slow. You can whiff it in front or back, but if they're moving, like even just a tiny bit, and sometimes if they're not even moving at all, whiffing the teleport behind them still results in it being blocked, and you still get a full combo punish. His EX sky drop has armor, but it still gets blocked, and the whipping behind it still gets blocked too. So what option do we have? Sky drop right in front of you, and then land in front of you with severe disadvantage. The trance has a really slow startup. It reaches far, but it gets hit by a lot of stuff.
I mean, the trance is so good now because of the rune, because of the damage you get afterwards. It's a good trade.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean,
if he didn't have the rune trap, it'd still be a good move. But
I am so sick of hearing the comparison between Quan Chi's rune trap and Cyrex's bomb resets. God, Cyrex has incredible pressure. I mean, I I feel like his close pressure is really underrated. His jabs, his down one is great. I mean, Quan Chi has Quan Chi has no pressure game. I mean, he has 1-1, and then he has his slow mix-ups. I mean, other than that, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, and he has to think about his meter the entire time. If you put him in any position where he has to break, that's basically you put him in the decision to where he has to decide: do I die now or do I die in 10 seconds from now? You know, by breaking now and not having enough meter to do a rune trap. I mean, he'll die.
Definitely be bottom 5.
He will
didn't have that rune trap.
He will die if he cannot do rune traps.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was about a month and a half ago. Everyone was up in arms about the rune trap suddenly, and 7 months after the game came out, suddenly everyone's complaining about the rune trap. And,
well, you know why, right?
What was that?
I mean, you know what caused that, right? It was Shujinky Dink.
Oh, right, of course, yes.
He was blowing everybody up.
Yeah, and the thing is, but I would see people come on to the forums or onto the chat, and they would be like, Quan doesn't need a rune trap. Quan has a great teleport and has crazy mix-ups. Anyone who says Quan has a great teleport and has great mix-ups, crazy mix-ups, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they need to shut up. They need to learn how to play.
This podcast is over.
No. I'm sorry. What those people need to do is they need to learn to play Quan effectively, and then fight someone good, someone close to them, a training partner. Fight him for a month, fight him for 2 months, and let that person discover, oh wow, Quan has a lot of vulnerabilities. Quan has a lot of problems, and you'll stop winning.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You will not win anymore.
A good Quan. So when I play Shujinky Dink, it's like, fuck.
Oh yeah, I mean, Shujinky Dink went to Devastation. Shujinky Dink is an incredible player.
Yeah.
He goes to Devastation, and he's hitting top players with back 3-1+2 every time because they don't know how to block it. You know, and so of course that matchup inexperience combined with the rune trap is going to make him look overpowered. But I mean, once you know how to guard against him, and you force him to start jumping in at you, you force him to start whiffing teleports just so he can get in close. I mean, he's got a lot of problems, and if he can't rune, I mean, he's just going to be a corpse on the ground.
I agree. I can actually kind of back this up because to troll, I play Quan Chi. But I've never actually bothered to learn, your kind of technology, how to build meter during the trance, all the kind of shit that you know about. I just kind of play like a week 1 Quan Chi for fun. So it kind of is playing Quan Chi without the advanced room trap stuff. And I could tell you, he has you can't get in.
It's hard.
You can't do anything. Like, he's terrible without the room trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good down 4. I think that would be the one thing you didn't really mention that's good. But other than that, how is he supposed to get in and start anything?
Well, that was like the main motivating factor behind me doing all this research. Quan has been my favorite character since MK4. I don't really consider myself a Quan player these days. He just doesn't really fit my personal style, but I love him as a character. I think he has the best personality of any character in the entire series. I mean, everyone is a ninja out for revenge or something like that, some kind of cardboard personality. Quan is the most personable, manipulative bastard. I mean, he oozes personality, and he's just, I mean, you can't help but love him. And he doesn't play by the rules in anything he does. I mean, so the rune trap actually kind of fits his personality to me, actually.
He is actually kind of the most relevant villain in this series. He's behind everything.
Yeah, I mean, he actually has, like, dimension to his character, which is very rare, I mean, in any fighting game for any character. But yeah, I mean, I've known how many problems he's had, I mean, for months and months. And when it was just one day I just woke up and I was like, hey, I wonder how much meter the trance builds. So I just did the trance 12 times and it got a bar. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I was like, I wonder how much meter something else builds from another character, and I wasn't finding anything that built 12% that built on 12 uses. So I just kept on searching, and that's when I found it. I was like, wow, holy shit, Quan's trance builds more. So there's some kind of detail here that we're not really seeing about his meter. And so I started doing the research there, and then I started thinking. I got out my notebook, which, I mean, if you didn't know me and you saw my notebook, you would think that I was building some kind of nuclear bomb or something, because the thing is just filled with ridiculous things, all these ideas and math equations. I drive myself crazy when I'm working on it. But yeah, that's when I started thinking, when can I get more meter? When can I get more meter? And then I realized that you could do those special whiffs during the trance. I was like, wow, this, in a way, this kind of changes the whole approach of him. And then later I found the Mayo trap, and then watching other Quans play in tournaments, I saw them, getting smart with their close range game, using the one poke, and they're building meter, and they're setting up their runes. And I was like, I wonder, exactly how much you're building with a good close offense game. So I just sat down and tried to figure out exactly what you had to do to build runes on block from different situations, because I mean, like you said, Quan has a lot of problems, and if you're not thinking about him on that high level, then, I mean, you are losing. It's your own fault that you lose. If you don't know Quan's math and his rune setups based on how much meter you have, and you go in and you make some kind of mistake trying to set up a rune, you get a regular rune, it's your fault.
I agree. I actually like fighting Quan Chi. I think it's an interesting design. Like, I love Dink's meter management. My favorite thing about playing him is some of the time, when I hit him with 4-2-1 and I can see that he's saving his meter, I'm like worried, and that's really neat. That's. I think they actually kind of. I'm sure they didn't intend for him to be that way, but they actually made a really interesting character.
I think he's awesome.
No one else is like that.
I hope they never change him. He's tight. No character like that. That's such a cool. I remember me and 16-bit and Jop were actually arguing about Quan Chi. He was like, that is just terrible, terrible design. Now I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, that's tight, dude. I was like, that's cool. I was like one of our main complaints as Tekken players, especially with Tekken 6, is that the mix-up is the same for every character in the game. It's either mid or it's low, and it's every character who's got the best mids, who's got the best low. I mean, and that's pretty much it. You can kind of go into throws, but throws are kind of irrelevant at top level play. And so, to have this much variety of offense in the game, I mean, you have unblockables, you have high-low mix-up, mid-low, you have pressure. What else do you? I mean, there's the charge unblockables like Sub-Zeros and Air Max and stuff like that. I mean, it's really original. It's really cool. I love the creativity of all the different styles of offense you can get in this game.
I think it's really telling that when the big debate over the rune trap started, how split the community was over it. I mean, everyone, if you mention Cyrax bomb resets, everyone's going to be like, get rid of that shit, except for some Cyrax players.
Yeah.
Except for some Cyrax players who think they need it. But I mean, when we were talking about the rune trap, I mean, we had all these people saying, get rid of the rune trap, and then a whole lot of support was coming out for the rune trap from people who don't use Quan. I mean, I think that really says, hold on, I got my friend Zar right here. He plays with me on my team. Zar, okay, how many times have I killed you with the rune trap over the past 7 months? A lot. And what do you think about the rune trap?
He's awesome. He's nasty.
Yeah, he says it's fucking awesome. I mean, I think that's just a really telling fact that there's a lot of people who don't even play Quan and they get killed by the rune trap and they think it's really cool. And those same people will not like the Cyrax bomb trap. And I think that means that there's more to the argument over it than just it's broken or it's not broken.
What about being able to poke out of it? Like at all?
Which part of it? I mean, what kind of rune trap are we talking about? Are we talking about just the inescapable 212 or building meter with pokes? Or
Yeah,
because the ones that I presented, I mean, if you're starting with, let's see, if you're starting with less than 2 bars or so, you can't get a triple rune trap unless you do some kind of poke. And if you're trying to go for a quadruple rune trap off of X-ray, you have two opportunities to escape during pokes or crossover punches. If you get hit with back 2-1 in a full combo, and he's going to build the meter, and you have no breaker right from the start, you have no meter, and you're in for that full combo, and then he empties out all 3 bars, yeah, you're fucked. But that's not going to happen that often. It really isn't. I mean, that's a very rare situation, against a player who never makes Quan break. I mean, if Quan gets to reach full X-ray more than once in an entire match, you're doing something wrong.
I think Quan is kind of is in the same boat with Scorpion. He's got to take huge risks.
Oh yeah.
Man, if he lands that risk, I mean, it could be the round. It could be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember I was playing Dink maybe a week ago online, and there was a round where it started off bad. I think I got a chump in or something. I was blowing him up. He had about 50% life, and I had a full bar. Then I hit him with a forward 2-1. And he made the decision, I'm not winning this round, so I'm not going to break. And I knew what was going on. I'm like, this dude's looking for that comeback.
Oh, yeah.
And it was,
That's how you
so
do it.
he had no life left. I had almost the full bar. And it's like I'm zoning, and he hit a jump in, and that was it for me. And I thought, you know what? This dude, I mean, he made the decision to give up on the round and go for that comeback, and he got it. That's tight. I laughed. I was like, all right, good shit, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, once you get past the awe factor of it, then you can really kind of start to appreciate the beauty in it. Yeah. I mean, if he comes in, I mean, if he touches you with full X-ray, I mean, and he gets 3 hits, like I showed in my video, and he gets just 3 extra hits during the rune trap on block, you're eating 4 runes plus a guaranteed 7% chip afterwards. He's taking 70% if he comes in on you with 3 bars, and but I mean, it's such a risk. I mean, it's hard to get in because of how slow he is. I mean, rushdown characters will just pummel him to where he has to break. I mean, God, I mean, if you main Quan and you fight Liu Kang, there's no point. I mean, you're never going to land a rune trap, never.
Do you guys think Rio was trolling by having him in his top 5? I think he was probably just trolling.
I think he was partly trolling. I always said that Scorpion was the best Punisher, but like thinking about it, it's probably more Quan Chi, but it's more conditional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can block something, and if he's got meter, he could take like 80%.
Yeah.
It's like I would say like Scorpion's like the most consistent Punisher, and then you have Cyrax and Quan Chi as like they can punish the hardest. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it was funny when all the rune trap discussion was going on, and a lot of people were saying it's like, this is bullshit. You can't get out of it without using a breaker. That was the same exact week that I found the Mayo trap, where it drains your breaker and still gives me 3 runes, and I was like, oh, these people are going to be so angry.
Yeah,
I love that mechanic, by the way. I love using an EX move, using a bar to steal one of their bars. That's really, really creative.
Yeah.
Really good idea. Do you think Quan Chi is better than Johnny Cage?
No. No, that's ridiculous.
Is he better than Shiva?
Yes.
I want to.
I actually don't know. I don't know about that.
I need to make an argument here. Why is he not better than Johnny Cage?
Why is he not better than Johnny Cage?
I mean, they both have the same problem. They both can't get in. But Johnny Cage, when he gets in, he still has to work a lot to... I mean, it's really hard to get out of his pressure, and he can do a lot of damage. But I mean, you can get out of it. But Quan Chi, you can't get out of it. So wouldn't that technically make him better?
Because
know,
Quan Chi needs to build the meter and then get in. Johnny Cage needs to get in, and if he has meter for the fireball trap, that's good. But if not, he can still win. So
And
Johnny
his
Cage
defense
has
is great. And Johnny Cage has better defense. I mean, if you jump in and you're gonna get jabbed, you're gonna eat
Johnny
an
Cage
anti-air
has,
combo into the nut punch.
Johnny Cage. Cage has better. He has the armored nut punch. He has better wake up moves. Quan Chi has a much better fireball though.
Yeah, the skull is good. I mean,
Quan Chi's got him
it's nothing
mixed up.
special, but
I mean, Johnny Cage
Johnny
doesn't
Cage
have one.
has a mix. Johnny Cage doesn't have a mix-up that knocks you down, but he has a mix-up that keeps you locked down, which is, I would argue, is just as good as a 50-50 like that.
He does have a teleport. I mean, it is
It's not.
that teleport.
It's better than nothing.
better than nothing.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Watch the devastation footage again, and anytime that Shijiki Dink tries to get in with a whiff teleport, every single time, 100% of the time, it just resulted in him eating block pressure.
Yeah, it's not. Very good.
It's just not that great. I mean,
That's true, but what if you get out of that block pressure with a down one? He's in.
Down one from
He has
Quan
a
is
bad
that a joke?
down one.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's
How does he
real
get out
bad.
of pressure?
He
doesn't.
doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, this is how he gets out of pressure, okay? He gets out of pressure by using an EX Skydrop, which is then blocked, and he gets to eat a full combo. And then he gets knocked down, and then he's out of the pressure.
I think Quan Chi players have to look at being pressured as well, at least on building the meter.
Exactly.
They're not, though. Only if they're getting hit are they building.
Yeah.
The other guy's building meter.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right.
Quan Chi. If Quan Chi reads a projectile, he can teleport, and that's a game. That could be a round changer.
Oh, yeah, because it gives him a rune trap.
Right. That's huge. I mean, that's a hell of a risk, but it's better than Johnny Cage.
I don't see many Quans doing it, like in tournament play. Whether it's like a local or a major tournament, whenever I see a Quan, I'll see them land a Skydrop when the opponent's on the ground, and as soon as it lands, they'll jump or they'll do something else. But hitting a Skydrop gives you an instant rune trap. And
yeah, I do it.
I don't really see it happening very often. Maybe it's tournament nerves. Maybe we're just excited. But once Quans start taking advantage of that, just like they're starting to take advantage of the anti-air combos and everything, they'll start doing better.
Alright, check this out. I got something for Milky. I know he's listening. That's the EX beer slurp. Plus 12 on block.
Wow.
It's good.
Are y'all drinking?
I am actually.
I'm at work.
I'm drinking.
What are you drinking?
I got the Michelob Golden Draft beer.
Ooh, Mr. Fancy.
I have chilled tequila and a bowl of my custom death snack.
What?
Death snack?
Death snack. It's something I created a couple weeks ago. I was really bored one Sunday, and about 10 o'clock at night, I was drinking, and I was like, you know what? I just want to go to the gas station and create something really interesting. So I gave myself a limit of 3 items, and I bought a pint of vanilla ice cream, a Hershey's bar with almonds, and a pack of Twinkies, and I mixed them together in a bowl, and it's the most incredible snack I've ever had in my life. I'm eating it right now, actually.
Actually sounds really good.
It's really good.
Really
Let's talk about Mexico.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about Mexico.
Why not?
So, you went to this Mexican tournament a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
and it was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to know about this, in your post, you talked about how they watch our streams.
That's true.
How do they follow the commentary if it's in English?
Well, there's more English speakers here than you think.
Okay.
I mean, half the advertisements in this country aren't in English, actually.
Really?
I mean,
I did not know that.
It's just saturated through the culture. But I mean, and they don't even really have to understand the commentary. They see you play. You know, they see your victories, and they don't have to understand what you're saying. I mean,
Can you imagine listening to our streams if you don't understand English, but you just hear "man" and "damn" over and over again?
Do they think we talk slow?
Because
That's what I like. Whenever I hear Spanish speaking or whatever,
Yeah.
it sounds like they're going a million miles an hour, and I wonder, like, is that like because that language is faster, or if they hear us speak, do we sound fast? I mean, are my syllables like super fast right now? Like I'm almost trying it on purpose.
yeah, it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard for me to be objective about it. I mean, I know the language pretty decently, but I still meet people and I don't understand a goddamn thing they say because they speak so fast or they're from a part of the country that has a different accent and I just can't understand what they're saying. But I mean, yeah, to me, I meet more people that speak fast here than I've known in the States or elsewhere that, for their speed of talking.
Are you able?
Are there
Are you able?
particular player? K7, let me go. Or you can go.
Fuck you. I'm going.
Okay.
Can you communicate like with the other villagers?
The villagers?
What?
Like
He lives in a city, I'm
the native-
sure.
He lives in like
mean-
one of the biggest cities in like North America.
Yeah.
What they live in?
Oh my god.
The villagers.
Jeez.
Those mud houses.
So fucked up, dude.
I mean,
You're saying the Mexican people are incapable of making cities?
Well, they have those mud cities.
Jesus
they
Christ.
don't.
Oh my god.
Dude, he's on a Mortal Kombat podcast. So not only does
Yeah.
he play video games, it's on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I hooked my computer into my horse under the bridge that I sleep under. What the hell?
Maybe he brought technology to them.
I did. Technology and science. I brought it to Mexico.
Their village. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
What
Well,
would you call them?
well, look, I mean, when I went to Mexico City and when the tournament was canceled, me and my friend were going out and we got the text message and I was just in a blind rage. But we ended up staying with like 10, 15 other players from different games, and we stayed together in this house. I mean, just a really kind of small, kind of low economy area. But, I mean, the people were just so much warmer. Like, I said this in what I wrote about it, is that all these people from different fighting games, like, they loved each other. And they loved the other games. I mean, even if they didn't play them or they didn't know anything about them, they still appreciated it. They appreciated other people's passion for it, and it really kind of opened my eyes. I mean, that the people here are kind of desperate to have their own recognition as a legitimate fighting scene, and people will make fun of Mexico, and by default they'll make fun of the Mexican players or not consider them good enough, but. God,
Except King of
their
Fighters,
attitude.
we acknowledge that they're godlike.
Yeah. But I mean, their attitude alone, I think, is worth talking about because I don't know. It was just such a warm environment, and I mean,
King of Fighters? Hold on, sorry, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Is it true about King of Fighters being hella popular there?
Well, I mean, I talked about the plazas, and there's a plaza around here that I go to almost every Friday to play, and. I mean, there's hundreds of TVs there and consoles, and I see a lot of King of Fighters recently. I see it. I don't know. Mortal Kombat makes up maybe 20%. Marvel, like 50%. and then King of the Fighters maybe 30.
So that's true. And I heard you guys are godlike.
But you guys, are you considering me?
He just
No,
moved
you're
there.
li-
He's
Okay.
white, not even Mexican.
All right. Well, I hear they're like going to body us at Evo. That's what everybody's saying.
I can't speak. I can't speak for that. I know a couple people who play the game. Nothing more than that. I really haven't seen it.
I think they will.
Yeah. That's what everybody always says. That the Mexicans
Dude, the U.S. did not play King of Fighters, and to say that we can just pick the game up and just start blowing people up, like, we aren't that good at fighting games.
Oh, it's everywhere, actually. I mean, that's one of the interesting things about this country is that arcades are still alive. If you'll go to like like public internet cafes, they'll have like a King of the Fighters machine there, or I mean, just like Technology Plaza is just filled with levels and levels of arcade machines and current gen consoles all mixed together. And I mean, I saw like a poster advertisement like this for this huge deal for the release of the Resident Evil card trading game, some kind of tournament. I was like, what the hell? I mean, the gaming scene is just incredible, and in the States, I mean, I don't even know if I could call it a scene.
As a white guy in Mexico, do people ever give you grief? Are they like, "Hey, gringo," and they like kick your ass? Does that ever happen?
Green.
I've been robbed 4 times.
Damn.
I've been robbed 4 times.
Like, or what?
Now, everywhere I go, I carry a pepper spray and my Striker X-ray taser. And no one's fucked with me since then.
You ever tased anyone?
I haven't. I can't wait until the day, though.
Yeah.
If
Have
you
you
did,
got
would
to
you
use your
go-
pepper spray?
Oh, I just heard like 3 people at once. What was that?
Have you got to
If you
use
did,
pepper
you'd-
spray?
The pepper spray. Actually, in Mexico City, when we had, I forgot to mention this in my write-up about the tournament. I was having a drink there, and we were all playing. And one of the guys there, he picked up my pepper spray. He said, "Hey, is this the safety?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And I turned back around to pour my drink, and then I just hear. I turn around, and there's a room of 20 people coughing. And his drunk ass is laying down on the ground just laughing. And then I started coughing. He just sprayed a tiny bit on the floor. We had to evacuate a 2-story house for 30 minutes.
What?
Yeah, that's how powerful that shit is.
Damn. So are you like hoping someone tries to rob you now?
Oh, I can't wait. Someone came up to me, and I mean, this was a long time ago, and I was in a really bad part of town for a really stupid reason. And someone came up to me, and he said, "Come with me." and I just looked at him, and his little friend was like standing next to me, like skizzing out with his hand shaking. And I looked back at him again. And he said, "Come with me." And he said it again, and I just had my hand in my pocket, finger on the trigger. I'm just like, "You try it, you fucking try it." And nothing happened. I just walked away. But I mean, I'm ready at all times. I mean, I've had like one close call, but. You know, I mean, realistically, I hope I never have to use it, but I am really curious to see how that taser works.
How did you get robbed? Did you just get mugged, or like someone?
No, it was where I was living.
Someone broke into your shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Have you ever been involved in cartel violence?
I have. I've killed so many people. I mean,
Damn.
have you ever walked up and discovered like a headless body?
no.
No,
I have.
Question.
I'm fortunate enough to live in an area that doesn't really see that. I mean, it's like judging the United States by the reputation of Harlem. You know, I mean, I'm just not near it.
I just heard a report that it's getting worse in the cities and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I heard that it's encroaching on the cities now. Are you in favor of repealing the drug prohibition? Do you think they should get rid of the war on drugs?
Absolutely.
Okay, I agree.
America or Mexico that has? What are you talking
Both.
Anywhere.
about? Yeah, they need to
Yeah.
stop that bullshit. It's
Why
like
not carry a gun?
Why not carry a gun? I don't know. I don't want to deal with the cops. You know, if cop
Are you
pulls
allowed
up.
to carry it in Mexico?
No. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
How do you say down in Spanish?
Down?
Yeah.
Abajo.
Abaco uno. Abaco uno. That's
No,
not
no,
a katana.
Abajo. ABAJO.
Can you drink the water?
Yeah, I've been using the ice maker for like a year and a half.
So that's just a myth.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the water in plenty of places, and like I said, I use ice all the time. I've never gotten sick, and I don't know anyone who has.
If you had the choice, would you rather live in the U.S.?
You know, the longer I'm away from home, the less I want to go back. I try to avoid the news now, but every once in a while I'll sign on and I'll look on MSNBC or something for like the top news story, just to kind of see what's going on in the States. And this was a couple months ago. I went on and I was like, okay, what's the top news story in the whole country? And the top news story was a woman in Miami lost her dog, and she stood on the side of the road in a bikini, trying to attract attention from men, so they'd see the sign she was holding that said, "Call her if you've seen her dog." And then a couple weeks later, she started getting stalked by a guy who was emailing her pictures of his dick. And I read that, and I was like, wow, that's it, huh? I'm done.
That really basically sums up the United States.
It really does, you know?
What a great story.
Yeah, and I try to look at like what's going on politically, like with candidates and everything, and it's like the whole thing has just kind of become like a cartoon. I mean, in the past, you know, presidential candidates, like, they couldn't really be seen like getting like really friendly with like news anchors, like national news anchors, because there would be like accusations of bias. But now, I mean, you see, you know, Michelle Bachmann goes to a rally and she's like giving Bill O'Reilly a big hug and getting her picture taken with Glenn Beck and everything, and it's like the marriage between the media and politicians is just at an all new level of obscenity, and I
Don't get me started.
No, I just
corporations, government, and media are all sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah, it doesn't really make me want to come back. I mean, you have state after state funding the construction of creation museums. You know, you have states removing science from their textbooks. I mean, I was just reading just a while ago about Texas that they removed the age of the universe from the science textbooks, and they renamed the African slave trade the Atlantic Triangle trade, so that it wouldn't sound as bad. I mean, does this shit make me want to come home? No, not really. I mean, you know what makes me want to come home is MK, really. I mean, I wish I lived in Atlanta so I could, or somewhere where I could, you know, meet people, meet American players, and actually go to tournaments. But I mean, with my contract work, it's just not really something I can do in the near future. I mean that, but
are you going to miss Evo?
Yeah, I will. I'm 95% sure of it.
That sucks.
But you know, it's okay. I mean, I'm kind of okay with. I'm not really known as a player in the community. I'm known for the whole kind of science reputation that I kind of built for myself, and you know, I can be okay with that. I said right from the start, if I can't be known as like a top player, I mean, I feel I'm a very, very strong Kenshi player. I feel I've mastered that character, but I'm not known as a player. But if my work can help other top players go to a higher level, then that feels great. I mean, a real moment of validation for me was at Devastation. Shujinkining's very first fight, like 5 seconds in, he hit someone with the mix-up, and then he did the trance, and then he did my rune trance whiff. And 16-bit, yeah, you said, hey, you see what he's doing? He's building meter. According to Under the Mayo, that builds more meter than anyone in the game. And I was just like,
yep,
that was my first moment where I was like, holy shit, Dink just did my shit. And then 5 seconds later, you know, 16-bit, the guy I just knew as the top player from Evo, immediately associates with that and recalls my name on reaction. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm doing my job. I feel like I've at least doing something that's worthwhile, even if I'm not known as a tournament player.
The great thing about this community being so small is that you can do that. You come up with those videos, Storms will put it on the front page, everyone will watch it, and everyone knows, you can really make a name for yourself being a combo specialist or, kind of coming up with shenanigans like that. It's very easy to make your name in this community doing shit like that. You don't have to be a great player to have an important role in our community.
Well, there were so many guides out there. That's what made me want to do the first one, the Science of Quan. There's so many guides out there that were just badly recorded, and the text was like contrasting against the color of the video. And the music was just death metal. I mean, nothing against metal. I mean, I like metal sometimes, but I was like, you know what? I want to make a guide that just like feels good to watch, and even if you don't know it, if you don't know the character and you're not interested, like you can put it on and just like get sucked into it. That's why I went with a scripted, recorded narration, very clear to read titles, and then not everyone likes death metal, and not everyone likes rap, so that's why I went with the Silent Hill soundtracks, because you'd have to have fucking brain damage not to like it.
Yeah, your videos come off as really classy.
Yeah, like
thanks.
Like school video.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's true.
I don't know. I like being well spoken, and what I want to say, I want to make it as clear as possible.
You have a good narrator's voice.
You got like a very calm voice.
Yeah, and the calm music will be playing, and it's like
you feel safe.
Thank you. No, I was checking my YouTube channel just today, and I'm starting to see comments on there like, "Hey, I don't play Quan at all. I just watch these videos to listen to the music in your voice." And so I don't know, maybe I should do like a reading with Mayo segment where I just sit down in front of a fireplace and read a book.
Kind of Mr. Rogers type voice.
Yeah, and also being an English teacher, I mean, it kind of affects me. I mean, it makes me speak clear sometimes, and I script everything out. Everything I say in my videos, except for the one commentary video on Kenshi, everything is scripted. I will not improv when I do a video. I feel that it detracts. I try to structure things to have the perfect pacing.
It really shows. I mean, the difference in your videos and most videos, like if I made a video and then compare it to your video, wouldn't be close. Like, compare the professionalism of this podcast to your videos, and it's very telling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one of your podcasts, send me the audio, and I'll set it to video, and I'll make it like really, really good.
Damn, dude, that'd be tight.
That would be tight.
You have the best avatar, by the way.
Which one?
Oh, it's great.
I have different ones. I have one on MKU and I have one on Tester Might.
Quan
Chi's?
Yeah, Quan Chi's.
Yeah.
with white cheddar.
Yeah, white cheddar, and then the face of that stupid actor. Making that stupid look.
And then your signature says something different as well.
Yeah,
it's the Mayo. They canned the label for Mayo.
Yeah, the Quan's Mayo. You will serve it in another realm on bread.
Hey, what's up with the name Under the Mayo? Where'd that come from?
There's really nothing special. I was at a restaurant like 6 or 7 years ago. I ordered a hamburger, and then I stopped the waiter, and I wanted to add something onto it. And he asked me, well, where do you want it? Which was just a really bizarre question to me. Like, where do you want that added on your hamburger? And so I just kind of looked down. I looked at him. I said, I don't know, just put it under the mayo. and they did. And I thought, I was like, you know what? That has a really cool ring to it. That would be a good band name. And then I was setting up my PSN account to play Wipeout. I play Wipeout competitively, and I just And I was like, oh, hey, Under the Mayo. That worked. And then I started playing Black Ops before I realized that Call of Duty is shit. And then all the people I was playing with on my team, they started calling me Mayo. And I was like, shit, people are calling me Mayo. Maybe this was a bad idea. And but I don't know. I've embraced it now. I like it.
What do you think of mayo as a condiment? I think it's terrible.
It makes me puke.
It's
What?
so
Yeah.
It's good.
so good. It's good on everything, really.
Oh no, mayo's good.
Oh,
No, it's terrible.
mustard.
It's worse than mustard.
Mustard.
No.
Mustard's the worst. Mayo's
Ketchup's
fine.
the only good condiment.
No,
What?
I don't know. I like
I don't know
mayo.
about that.
Ketchup's the only one that's good.
What
What
about
about
like
that horseradish shit?
That's,
what about like barbecue sauce and shit?
that's
Oh, that's good. You're right.
Barbecue.
Honey's good too.
What about honey mustard?
Mm.
honey mustard
Yeah.
is not good.
I like it.
Dude, there's no barbecue sauce here in this country.
What?
Oh, I mean there is, but there's like maybe 2 brands. There's like Hunt's barbecue, like Hunt's and it just says barbecue. But you know, like if you go to like Walmart in the States, there's an aisle where there's like 30 different styles of barbecue sauce. I mean that's how it is for like salsa here. There's lots and lots of salsa, but there's like 2 brands of barbecue sauce. I can't find any good barbecue here.
Wow.
How do you feel about flour tortillas?
Um,
I think they're wonderful.
I love tortillas in general, but it like if I'm eating tacos, I like corn tortillas. But if I'm eating like quesadillas, I like flour.
I love quesadillas.
Yeah.
How much better are like real tacos compared to like Taco Bell?
Oh, you haven't lived. You would never eat a Taco Bell taco again once you ate one order of tacos de molleja aquí. I mean,
Can you say
they're,
that again?
tacos de molleja.
Awesome.
They're
That's hella fast.
That is.
they're 5 little mini corn. Okay, the way they cook all the meat is like in this huge pile of meat that's cooked in a big thing of grease, and then they cook the tortillas in the vat of grease, and then they put it together. And molleja is beef throat. It's chopped beef throat, and it's wow, it's incredible. I mean, you would never want an American taco again after.
Have you ever done that Day of the Dead parade thing?
No, but and I haven't even seen it. But the kids here have a very strange interpretation of Halloween. They run around knocking on doors and getting treats and yelling the word Halloween repeatedly.
Cool.
It's not cool at all. I was sitting on a bench and I was trying to like read or something. It was like 7:00 at night outside, but it was still really bright, and kids just Halloween, just over and over, just walking down the street. They just scream it. I don't really understand.
I like it. That sounds cool.
I mean, it's better than the States. I mean, Halloween doesn't exist in the States anymore.
How often do you see luchadors?
I've never seen one.
You've never seen a luchador?
I've never seen one. I've seen the mask sold in like all sorts of different plazas here, but I've never actually seen someone wear one.
You know El Santo?
I don't. I'm sorry.
What about Mil Mascaras? Yeah.
I don't know him.
How can you not know about El Santo?
That's like the Hulk Hogan of Mexico.
Hey, I mean, just
Right.
because I'm here doesn't mean I like Mexican wrestling.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
I
like
also-
a staple.
Yeah, I thought it was everywhere there.
What's the name of that Mexican wrestler in WWE? Like Del Rio or something?
Alberto Del Rio!
Do they like him? New Mexico.
Yeah,
people?
do they like... Yeah.
I don't know because the friends I have, I mean, they aren't wrestling fans. I mean, the friends I have are either people at work or my Mortal Kombat team, and the wrestling doesn't really figure into it.
I don't think they like him even in Mexico.
Why not? He's tight.
I know, I don't see why you wouldn't. He's like...
He's
He
one of the
proves
only
that
good
he's-
characters in the whole damn thing.
I think they like,
Sin Cara.
Sakara, yeah.
He was real big in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, because Sin Cara, they know who he is under the mask.
He was,
They know it's Mystico.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, speaking of Mexico, I mean, it makes me think about the difference. is it all right if I rant for a minute? Because I kind of have something to say.
Go for it.
I really love the whole fighting game community, or I mean, I guess I should say the fighting game scene. I think like the spirit of competition, the community itself is rather self-important and disgusting. I heard Brady say somewhere like a few months ago on this show, I think, that MK doesn't get respect because the community is more focused on trolling than it is seeing good fights on stream. Any major final, for every 5 players who care about the fight, there's 100 trolls, and I think he's completely right, while being wrong at the same time, because it's not just MK. I mean, have you ever tuned into a Marvel or a Street Fighter final? I mean, it's true.
Oh yeah, it's worse.
It's true that there's a larger amount of people who care about the fights, but you'll never notice them because there's 17,000 trolls.
They're looking for a way to post the flow face or talk about salt and that. Yeah, they're just as bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're calling out other games that are on stream or shouting horrible things about any female that's unfortunate to be within camera range for more than a fraction of a second.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I mean, we wonder why gamers have a horrible reputation on the outside of our insular little world. But, I mean, we have a very public image, and, God, I mean, it's one of a loud, hateful, sexist, spoiled child. A bunch of juvenile, selfish, fucking monkeys on swing sets.
Damn.
No, I'm serious. I mean, being here and seeing the way that people actually have love for each other and love for other games has just made me loathe the way that people treat each other in the States. And, I mean, another problem is...
I have to interject. I'm sorry, but...
Mm-hmm.
I think... Have you ever been to a big American tournament?
I haven't.
I think you would find an American tournament are not what... Stream monsters don't actually go to tournaments. What you get at a tournament is very different than what you get on a stream. I'm sorry, you can continue.
No, I was gonna say I don't really mean tournaments. I mean if you go to the Shoryuken forums and they say anything about Mortal Kombat, it's 300 messages of hate. I don't care if they're going to tournaments or not. It's not about that. It's about the whole community as a whole. I feel like there's a really big attitude adjustment needs to be made in every faction. I mean, the major tournaments they're great, but in all the other corners of our community, things are. I think we have a big problem. Another problem is the stream commentary. I mean, for Mortal Kombat, have you watched the finals for Marvel tournament? I mean, those guys, they call out every single move being executed on screen. They're discussing why certain decisions are being made by the players, and they don't blatantly cheer on particular players or dismiss someone's potential. I'm not really that cool with when Brady was saying that Detroit was going to lose 0-3 at NEC.
That was bad.
But, I mean, even if he was being sarcastic, it's just not what we need if we're going to hype up the matches. But you know what's worse? The fucking commentary during Brady versus Swift Tom Hanks. Did you see that shit? We had 2 great players in a matchup that no one could predict the outcome of, a really, really good fight, and the commentators didn't even have the decency to try and stay impartial. I mean, I root for Brady because he's had an influence on me joining the community from the start, but I was also rooting for Swift Tom Hanks because, he's cool and I'm a Sektor player. But if you're commentating, you should try to shut up about who you want to win, and if you can't do that, then get the fuck out and put someone else on the mic. Everyone erupted into... No, I mean, that shit was infuriating. I don't care who you were rooting to win.
That's interesting, because
everybody...
We just did some commentary, and 16-bit was biased on commentary.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. For one guy, because he's from my home state, and I just briefly brought it up.
It's the same.
Right. That's not what I'm talking about. Everyone erupted into cheers when Swift Tom Hanks won. And the commentators going ape shit, as they should, right? Because he won. But can you just think about it? Can you imagine what would have happened if Brady had won that last round? If he'd won the match, he easily could have. He got hit with a flamethrower when he tried to freeze, and he got a standing 3 instead. I don't know if the freeze would have traded and he would have won. I mean, who knows, maybe. But if he would have won, there would have been a few cheers, some light applause, and the commentators sinking back into their chairs saying, "Oh well, Brady takes it, good shit," and that would have been it.
To be fair, I'll kind of defend that. I understand your point, but that's a scenario where that's a local tournament, and you have a top player coming from out of town.
Yeah.
It's hard to be in their position and not be excited. Swift Tom Hanks is their boy. That's their friend. That's the guy they play with every week. And Tom is, enemy is the harsh word, but he's the outsider. He's the guy. Like, when I was at SoCal Regionals, I'm friendly with all those guys. I love going to the West Coast. Wonder Chef, Tyrant, all those guys are super tight. But they were cheering for their local competition.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with that. And if Tyrant had won or if Bone had beaten me, they would have gone ape shit. And I would have thought, all right, good shit. I understand that. That would not... It's hard. You can't blame people for going ape shit at someone beating Tom.
No,
that's a big deal for Tom's
when
career.
When you're talking about major tournaments,
then I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about this is the commentary issue for me, really. I mean, I care less how an audience reacts, but I don't care. I don't really care the level of the tournament or what game it is. I feel like if you're doing stream commentary, you should do stream commentary. I don't know. I mean, maybe we just don't have the personalities for it yet. We don't have someone who's like, hey, they do great MK commentary at all the tournaments. We don't have that yet. But I think we need it, because right now we end up with people just like sitting there in silence, or someone just blatantly cheering on one person, or someone like just talking shit about a certain character.
As someone who's done commentary, it's extremely hard. It doesn't seem like it's going to be hard, but it's very hard not to have dead air. The game is moving really fast, so you want to make these points. You think you want to, but it's very hard to think quickly and to get your points across before you've moved on to something else. It's a very tough job.
Yeah, I guess I just wish we had it.
It's like commentating hockey. Like, that's how fast it is. Like, there's very little lull. I mean, listen to hockey commentary. Like, they know who they're passing it to. Like, they know everyone's name on the roster, and they know they're saying their name of the player who's receiving the pass before they even get the puck. I mean, that's how fast you gotta be. It's not easy. It's not.
And there's no downtime. You have 10 seconds in between rounds. It's tough. Me and Slips and K7, we get a lot of positive feedback about our commentary, but privately I've talked with Slips a lot. I'm not happy with my commentator. I don't think I'm a good commentator. I think people think I'm funny, but I don't think I do a very good job calling the matches. I don't think I do a very good job with insight. I agree with you. We need better commentators. We have people that are funny. We don't have people that are good.
And I think part of it is there's not any Mortal Kombat majors for us to take the commentary seriously. It's like we've had Evo, which had pretty good commentary. It was impartial. Right. But since then, there's no real major tournament that you're going to find some serious commentary. Because Mortal Kombat's pretty much always a side tournament to,
Maybe that's what rubbed me so wrong about that Brady Swift Tom Hanks match and the commentary is that I try to watch every tournament stream and I never really hear commentary, and then I do hear one with commentary and it's just cheering on another player. And if I did hear solid commentary and or at least something workable in other tournaments, something like that probably wouldn't rub me the wrong way. But when that's all I get, I don't know. It's kind of hard not to be bitter about it.
It's true. We definitely need better commentary. It would be better.
Yeah, I agree.
It would help other players from other fighting game, fighting game communities come over. Like, they hear all this professional commentary on their game, and then when they watch the Mortal Kombat commentary, it's just a fucking joke.
Yeah,
can you imagine if you don't play Mortal Kombat and you watched our streams and you've got one guy going, damn, and another guy talking about WCW. Like, you'd be like, what? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't play Marvel 3 at all. I don't like it, but I watch the top 8 or top 16 of the major tournaments all the time because the commentators are always keeping me filled in, and they make me understand what's happening, and to where when I see it again, I'm like, oh, he did that thing that they talked about earlier. It keeps me engaged. It keeps me involved. But if I didn't know anything about Mortal Kombat, I mean, how would you understand anything?
I think it's really a matter of time. The Street Fighter guys have been doing it since 2008.
Yeah.
They're at, they have a major every 3 weeks. They have guys that are really dedicated to that. I think we'll get there if we get big enough. For right now, we're a small insular community. We all know each other, so we all love to troll each other. We're not no one's used to doing commentary. It's just growing pains of a growing scene.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think's the hottest celebrity?
Hayden Panettiere,
Who?
the chick from Heroes.
Heroes.
Yeah, how do you not know her?
Wasn't that the superhero show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't that get canceled like the second season?
4th.
I think it made it to 4, yeah.
Is that the cheerleader?
Yeah.
Oh man, no way.
Come on.
No.
I'll send you a picture. I'm gonna send you a picture.
I know it. I watched the whole first
You
season.
need to see this picture.
Dude, like she's kind of chubby.
What?
I mean, compared to like
Dude.
compared to like Jessica Alba or something like that.
Oh, what about Natalie Portman?
That was going to be mine.
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, I know.
Who's that?
You remember the love interest of Owen Wilson in Wedding Crashers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright, I got a question. What was the name of your person, K7? What was her name, the cheerleader?
Hayden Panettiere.
Alright, so let's say Hayden wants to do you and everything, right?
Yeah.
And she allows you to, but when she pulls down her pants, she has a dick.
Classy.
Would you do it?
You realize we've just gone from him ranting about not being professional enough to our podcast going into this.
Would you do it? This is. And she'll say, I will go on and publicly say that you did me, so everyone will know that you did Hayden.
But everything else looks the same.
Yes.
Now, wait.
Yes.
Do you mean like a dick instead of a vagina, or both?
She has.
Both?
Let's say she has both.
Well, then fuck yeah, I'd do it.
So you wouldn't mind.
No.
You wouldn't mind getting...
She's on top,
I'd
and as
turn
she's
her over.
bouncing, her balls and dick are all bouncing on the belly.
Yeah, you want to get stabbed in the stomach while you're doing this.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Her dick is all hard, pointing at you, and as
No, I'd turn her
she on
over.
your face.
I'd turn her over.
Out of sight, out of mind. It's digging into your belly button.
I mean, it's probably hard. It's pointing right at you.
Do you know who Kaio Police is?
Yes.
Would you?
No.
No.
You hesitated.
I did not.
You did. I'll play
What
it
are you talking
back.
about? I went.
The show
I went.
and it back.
Dude, I went. No.
No.
Who's Kaio Police?
It's this. How do you describe it? It's this guy.
It's a male to female transgender.
Oh.
Pre-op.
You would not know that it's a girl, but it's actually a guy. You would not know.
He wears like street
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
character outfits and stuff.
You would have no idea.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know there's something off about her though. Her makeup. She looks like she's a robot.
Yeah, she looks like Alyssa from Tekken.
It's true.
Yeah. Like,
She looks like one of those Japanese androids.
would you fucking
You would. Would I fuck an android? Oh yeah, no question.
That's silly.
Yeah.
All right, what if Hayden was like, okay, you can fuck me, but I get to fuck you first?
Man, I don't want to answer these questions. Let's move on.
Move on.
What do you mean? Would you do it? I mean, she will go on record. You can, like, your friends can be like, no, you're full shit, and then you can call her up. And she'll never come out with it either. She'll never tell anyone. It'll never reach the media.
Would you?
I'm asking you.
No, I want to hear someone else first.
Yeah.
What about you, 16, Natalie Portman?
No.
No?
No.
But you can say you fucked Natalie Portman.
I would know.
But nobody else would.
I would tell everybody, dude.
You would not?
I could not keep that secret.
What about our guest? What about Mayo? What do you do?
What do I do if Rachel McAdams has a dick and a pussy?
Yeah.
Man.
You do it. Come on.
Why were you-
Yeah, I'll
you
be
didn't-
I'll be the contrarian. I'll say yeah, totally, yeah, sure. I mean, who gives a shit? Whatever.
Yeah. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, who fucking cares? You know, a couple days later, it'll be out of my mind.
What about you?
No,
You
that's never gonna leave your mind.
No, you would.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even fuck it 16-bit?
You wouldn't be able to think about anything else.
Dude.
What do you just block it out of your mind? It's the same thing as fucking an ugly bitch.
Flip it over.
You can't block that out of your mind, dude. That is unblockable.
Unblockable.
It's a rune trap.
It's a rune trap.
Dude,
How do you think nasty ugly girls get laid? Guys close their eyes and they imagine it's something else.
Yeah.
Something
you
else.
can't. There are certain things that once they're seen, they cannot be unseen.
Dude, nasty fat bitches are disgusting.
Dude, there
plenty
is
of
a
girls
limit.
that look a lot better with clothes on.
You
than
could
without.
pretend it's like a giant clit.
That's all you would be thinking about, dude. It would not leave your mind for us.
I know, I could forget it.
No.
Yeah.
You could just stare at her tits.
Yeah.
No. You guys are crazy. You know I'm right. It would never leave your mind. Not for a millisecond.
What if you do it like K7 and she's face down and you won't even know?
You would...
Her balls are slapping on your balls.
What if she has...
Alright, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on.
I have a story I want to tell.
Yeah, tell your weird story.
Alright, the other day, I went to St. Louis to play Slips in the St. Louis Guys. And it's like a 2-hour drive, and there's nothing in between Springfield and St. Louis, except a bunch of rest stops. So I had to take a leak, so I stopped at this rest stop. And this is like at 2 a.m. And it's barren, except this dude comes up to me on the outside, and he's like, look, I fell asleep in my car, and my battery's dead. Could you give me a jump start? And I'm like, look, I don't have jumper cables. You know, I've never done this before. I can't really help you. And he's like, I have them, and I know what to do. I can do it. And I'm like, well, okay, but I got to go to the bathroom first, then I'll be back out. So while I was in the bathroom, I started thinking about it. Like, do I trust this guy? What if he's a serial killer? Remember in Silence of the Lambs, when he's like, he gets that fat chick to come over, and then he throws into her van and shit? I started picturing that. Yeah. What if this dude's like John Wayne Gacy or something, right?
Did
And I'm
he
gonna
look crazy? Did he look crazy?
He looked like a guy. But that's how all serial killers look, right? No one ever reports a serial killer. Yeah, he was my neighbor and he was creepy. They always just look like regular dudes, right? So then I was getting like, I don't know if I should do this. And then I got in but I was still going, I was like, no, what are the chances, right? So then I got in my car, and I started the engine, and he's out there, and he's warming his hands up, and he's got the hood up. And then I thought, I gotta weigh the risk reward here. There's like a 1% chance he's a serial killer. But if he is, I mean, I'm dead, right? So fuck him. And I just drove off and left him.
No way.
He was like getting ready and shit.
Yeah, he was the last. I looked out the window and I saw him rubbing his hands together and the look of disappointment as I quickly sped.
That's fucked up.
So my question for the two of you is, what would you have done? Am I wrong? Am I an asshole?
You should have said no up front. You should have been like, man, I gotta go, you know.
I didn't think about it. I mean, how do you say no? It's awkward. Then what if he would have followed, like, begged me and stuff?
How do you say no? How do you drive off after saying yes?
That's fucked up.
That's
it was
terrible.
awkward. What am I supposed to do, man? It's awkward.
You shattered his faith in humanity.
Yeah.
And what's really messed up is that this was at 2 a.m. And part of what he was begging me, he goes, no one else has been here for hours. He was probably out there for...
That is terrible.
And then you were off to play Mortal Kombat.
Kombat.
Yeah, you weren't even doing anything productive. It's not like your wife was having a baby or your kid was stuck in jail or something. You were going to play a fucking video game.
He might have been out there for 4 more hours or something.
I think you did the right thing.
All right, what do you think? I mean, what would you have done?
I would have just jumped the car and kept my hand on my taser.
You live in Mexico. You're used to living on the edge.
Right.
I live in suburbia. Like, I live in the middle of Illinois, like Chatham, Illinois, this little rich village. You don't understand. And Slips, you live in St. Louis, the most violent, the murder capital of the United States. You're used to living on the edge like that.
Dude, you are a big, burly ass man. Why would a serial killer at a rest stop want to kill you? Serial killers kill women and children, dude. You don't see serial killers killing grown-ass fucking giant mountain men-looking motherfuckers.
You can't expect rationality from a serial killer. And he could have had, like, a knife or a gun.
I don't know. If I was a serial killer, 16-bit would be a target. Just something about it.
Wait a minute. Why?
I don't know. You look vulnerable.
Damn.
I think it's the glasses. It's the glasses.
I mean, I'm just saying the risk reward was telling me this is not worth it.
Yeah.
Even the 1% chance that he's a serial killer is too much.
But I would have said something.
What would you have said, dude? I thought about it, and you might be a serial killer. Bye. I mean, what am I supposed to say?
You know, if you would have said that, you know, he would have been disappointed when you left, but 5 seconds later he'd be like, you know, that actually makes for a pretty awesome story I could tell later. So maybe it would have at least been worth it for him.
Yeah, you're brutally honest with everyone with everything else. Why not a perfect stranger in a time of need?
Because if he was a serial killer and I had said, dude, honestly, I thought about it and you might be a serial killer, what if he goes, and you were right, and he pulls out the knife, dude? I didn't...
Yell it as you're driving away.
Stick my head out. I thought you might be a serial killer.
Dude, he must think you're like the biggest dick ever.
I only saw his face for about 5 seconds, but it was profound disappointment.
Profound.
It was bad.
That's fucking bad, dude. You gotta be part of society, man.
Karma. You're gonna lose
Help
Dude.
the guy out.
because of that.
Part of society, man. There's a limit. If it had
What are
been
the odds of that dude being a serial killer, dude?
like 1%, but that's too much, man. I don't want to get stabbed and thrown into his truck.
That's not gonna happen.
It's 2 a.m.
You're
man.
too big of a dude, man. You're not a target.
Dude, if he stabs me in my gut, I'm
You got a
fucking
big
done.
gut. You'll be fine.
No.
Yeah, blood and fat will start oozing out.
You'll go to the hospital and be fine.
How would I get away from him?
You gotta fight a little bit.
Ass out.
Ass
A
out.
knife-
I wanted
knife?
to ass to work.
Ass out.
A knife wound?
You'll be
I
fine.
can't fight off a dude with a knife, a serial killer.
Use down one.
Down one.
Down one, eminent.
And it would have been, no one would have come for help, man. I would be out there, they'd find my body in the forest months later. Someone walking their dog would discover my corpse.
He clearly wasn't full of shit. He had his car good to go. He had his jumper cables out. He was setting it up.
Well, here's what kind of weirded me out. His lights were on. Now, I don't understand cars, but if your battery's dead, can your lights be on?
No.
No.
There was like a second where his headlights came on.
Yeah, see. Okay.
What does that mean? He
Serial
said
killer.
his auxiliary battery was dead. What exactly does that mean?
I have no idea.
Does that mean his headlights could have still been on, or what? Like, I don't understand what that means. Because I was under the impression that your headlights would be dead.
So like this.
So that, now that I thought about that, that could be proof that something was
Yeah.
up. He had his hood up, and his front lights went on for a second.
Why did they come on for a second? Did he, like, hit something or what?
I don't know. Like, he was standing there, and he was warming up his hands, and they were on. Just
And
for
then,
like a
how
second.
did they go off?
I don't know, man.
They just
I don't-
suddenly turned off?
I don't know.
It was just like a couple nights ago.
I don't know, man.
So does,
It happened really fast.
does that guy's face like haunt your dreams now?
No, not really.
That's
I think I'm going to forget about it in a few days, but
Yeah.
I think the lights going on, now that I think about it, that might be compelling proof that I was right.
He was warming
If
up
someone-
his hands for murder.
Yeah. Dude.
Hatman did
Slim,
the
I know
same
you-
thing.
What?
We were in Chicago.
Killed
This-
people at rest stops?
No. This is like a similar story of the same nature. This was like 10 years ago. It was me, like Hatman, and like the Tekken crew, and like Hatman.
No one knows who Hatman... Dude, no one knows who Hatman is.
But the point
You
is,
gotta give context.
he was just this dude that played Tekken with us. I mean,
Alright,
what do you need
great
to know?
context.
We don't need to know.
Okay.
It's pretty much the dude was like saying like he was out of gas.
Alright.
His car was stuck at a gas station. We were at a stoplight, and Hatman just like, yeah, we'll as soon as this light turns green, then we'll go to the gas station. We'll give you a few bucks, and then he just drove off.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not stranded in the middle of nowhere for hours.
Look, if he got too cold, he could have gone inside.
Why wouldn't the cashier help him?
There's no one there.
It's oh.
It's not
There's a
It's not
phone.
manned.
Gotta be a phone.
And why didn't he have a cell phone? Who doesn't have a cell phone in this day and age?
That's fishy.
I agree, man. Who does not have a cell phone?
Who's he gonna call?
Someone. His wife, someone.
AAA.
But you needed to see what
Yeah.
license plate his thing was.
Why? Like, if it was in town, I mean, what would that mean?
If it was Illinois, then he should be able to just call someone.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
But it feels like, from another state. It was like, obviously a cell phone is useless in this scenario.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Dude, there was too much risk. How would you be feeling if you guys were using this podcast to announce my disappearance? Things would be different then.
Weird, dude.
Yeah. Well, he was coming over for a session and just no one's seen him since.
Creeping me out.
I think that dude was a serial killer.
He might not be a serial killer, but he might try to rob you.
Yeah.
What if he plays MK?
I actually thought, as I was driving away, I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if there's a post on Test Your Mind about this?
The asshole
Like he puts me on blast over this. Wouldn't it be awesome if he had shouted, "I've seen you on streams"?
Dude, that is
Fuck that.
fucked up.
What if one day I have a tournament, they call my opponent, I sit down and I turn and it's him? That would be awesome.
And then he blows you up.
You babalities me?
That's for leaving me. I don't know.
Nah, fuck that.
I'd probably base it off their look. Like, if they had
He
a
just
crazy
looked like
fake face, you know.
He looked like an average guy.
Did he look like he could possibly be a murderer?
He looked, I would describe him as 100% average.
Right.
So, alright, I want the final answer. K7, what would you have done?
I'd have left him.
Would you have said anything, or would you have left him like I did?
No, I would have been up front. I'd have been like, dude, I can't help you.
Okay. And the rest of you two are good Samaritans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
I don't know. I've been in that position too many times. I mean, like, where I needed help. So.
But dude, it's fucking 2012. You can call somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has something. Alright, what about the Mortal Kombat on Vita? It's finally
I'm
announced.
excited. I'm gonna buy it.
It was announced after being unannounced.
Thank God they finally stopped pretending we didn't know about it. I love how they put it this grand press release. As if everyone would be like, oh my God, MK on the Vita?
They're saying, like, new features. So does that mean, like, more characters, you think? Arenas, what?
Well, we know one of them is a new challenge tower.
Really?
At this point, I don't think they're going to be new characters, because they're not saying it. I think they would have said it. If Jason was in the game, he would be on the box art. I think the fact that they're saying...
would probably keep that a secret, though, don't you think? That's pretty
I don't think so.
bigger than a challenge.
Maybe announce it at E3.
Nah, I think the fact that they're specifically saying new modes tells me that they would have said new characters.
Is it MK9?
Yeah.
Oh. But we don't know if anything's different.
Well, there's going to be touchscreen fatalities, supposedly.
Oh.
Which, who the fuck cares about that?
I'm hoping for an improved training mode. It'd be worth it just for that.
I think it's going to be like a direct port.
Does Cyrex do more damage? Hopefully.
Do 9.
He needs it.
Yeah.
He does. Sure. Oh my God. People who defend Cyrex's damage, I hope their families die in a fucking car fire.
Damn.
So much for being a good Samaritan.
Oh, that's different.
So
I agree, though.
is Cyrex the most broken in the game?
Yeah.
I don't think that's even a question.
He's
I mean,
definitely the biggest of the bullshit.
he's not broken in that, oh my God, we need to ban him. But as far as, like, bad design, no question.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got the most amount of just pure... you just win for no reason type shit.
Yeah, it's fundamentally a broken concept, really. I mean, he could just do so much. I mean, he could basically put 4 to 5 areas on the screen that combo you. And, oh man. I hate
It's
it.
just, that net is so dumb. How will you have a projectile that is extremely hard to jump? You can't duck it, and it does like
65%.
60%, yeah. It's like, that's fucking dumb.
It's pretty crazy.
He needs it.
Yeah.
I think that really overall might be the dumbest talking point in the community.
Yeah,
If I played Cyrax, I would honestly feel embarrassed.
So why isn't
Like when
No
people
character
would
deserves that much.
right.
why isn't Cyrax like winning tournaments though?
Same reason why Sektor isn't winning tournaments.
Same reason why Katana didn't until recently. Same reason Raiden doesn't. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the players and the particular
Right.
tournaments, and sometimes luck of the draw, you know? Sometimes it's player mistake.
Who are the best? Yeah, who are the best Cyrax players in the United States? We got Maxter, and if Max is in the tournament, that means his brothers are. That means Rio's there,
Mhm.
and who else is there?
All the VSM guys.
Yeah, and it was the same with Katana. If Crazy Dominican's in a tournament, his brothers are there, Rio's there. Raiden, I mean, we got B-Wiz, but he only traveled to Devastation and Evo. And PL is in his hyperbolic time chamber. So it's like...
He's in orbit around the planet right now.
Yeah, he's in his, self-induced coma till the next Evo.
So you don't think
It's never been a good case.
you don't think he'll play another tournament till Evo?
He might enter like UFGT, something that he can drive to, but I'm not saying this because he's told me this. This is not anything that I am insider info, but I'm guessing he's in hibernation till Evo. I think if I'm him, and I can't blame him, I think you win Evo. You go into your cave, and then you come back a year later and you win it again. He would look so badass if he can pull that off.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the troll of a lifetime. That would be putting us all on blast as a community so bad. What could we say? If he does that, what could we... Pig of the Hut, all the critics, what could they possibly do? They would literally... If he pulls it off, I want Pig and everyone else, Rio, all those guys, you must bow. And I mean that literally. When it goes Raiden wins, I want you to stand up and simply get on your knees. If he can pull that off, that would be incredible. Everyone will owe, and that's the thing. He could. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he really could.
If you're not training against Kung Lao and Raiden,
how do you just get good by yourself?
It's ridiculous.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
He plays like every fighting game too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's just got great fundamentals.
At Frosty Faustings, he got second.
He
lost to only Wolfchrome.
Yeah.
No, actually, he got fifth.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought never mind then.
Hey, speaking of Raiden, I don't know. Did you guys see the new tech of 1212 enhanced Thunderbolt 1212? Oh man. Oh god.
I feel sorry for that guy. He got blown up.
He got blown up bad.
What? What happened? What are you talking about?
Somebody, I don't remember his name. He posted new tech with Raiden using 1212 or 121, and then the EX Lightning Bolt, and then you dash in and do 121 again, and then EX Lightning Bolt again, and that is some kind of trap, and then 100 people instantly reply like, you can duck that and punish or uppercut or anything.
Rio blew it up. Rio blew it up about 30 seconds after he posted it, and then everyone piled on.
Instant blow up.
Yeah, and it was listed. I mean, the title of it was "Game-Changing New Raiden Tech" with game all in capital letters.